जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्विका गिरिधारी जीव की जय। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग श्री श्री राधा नयननाथ जीव की जय। जय श्री गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ देव की जय। जय नित्यलीला परिस्तोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस तत्र सचशिला भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जय नित्यलीला परिस्तोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस तत्र सचशिला भक्ति दैत माधव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जय नित्यलीला परिस्तोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस तत्र सचशिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। जय परमहंस शिला गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। जय शिशिला सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। जय वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिला जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। जय श्री रूपानुग गुरुवर की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासुदेव गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपी गोवर्धन वृंदावन श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंदात्मक श्री ब्रजमंदिर की जय। जय श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जय। जय श्री पुरुषोत्तम धाम की जय। जय श्री बलदेव सुभद्रा जगन्नाथ श्री सुदर्शन चक्र जीव की जय। जय श्री वृंदा देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। जय सर्वविघ्न विनाशनकारी श्री नृसिंहदेव की जय। जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जय समागत भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल। वंदे हम श्री गुरु श्री जुता पादकमला श्री गुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्री रूपं सग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hari Bol 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 Hari Bol. I was in Pula temple for 1 week. It was very spiritually uplifting, and today we are continuing with our hearing of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. As you remember, Joro Bharat is now teaching King Rahugana. So the new chapter started, so I will read again these verses so that we get the context. Joro Bharat told to King Rahugana about his past lives, that when he was Bharat, he was doing bhajan, then he became Dir, and now he became Joro Bharat. So, being afraid of their bad materialistic association, I wander alone, unnoticed by others. Then, Joro Bharat also told him, simply by associating with exalted devotees, anyone can attain perfection of knowledge, and with the sword of knowledge can cut to pieces the illusory associations with this material world. Like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur, he told to those students who came to just see what is going on in the mat. From college they came with books, but Prabhupada cut their illusory associations with this world. As you remember, he said this human life is very rare, it is very valuable, but it is temporary, so, and sense gratification is available already in all other species. This human life is meant only for bhajan, so you start bhajan immediately. Then they became afraid, so we should not go home. Then Prabhupada said no. Then they said, but if our house caught fire, should we not extinguish? Said no. Then they said, but if we will not put down fire, then other houses will also catch fire from our house, so it is our duty to do. Then Prabhupada said, no need. Let the whole world burn, no harm. Why? Because you are Brahma Bhuta. You are not Jagat Bhuta. You are of Supreme Lord. You are transcendental. You are of Supreme Lord. You are not of this world. When we think we are of this world, then we are concerned about worldly achievements and these things. So, but that is illusory. Our connection with this world is illusory. We think I am this body, I belong to this world. So, worldly things are my necessity. But such devotee like Prabhupada, he can cut off. He explained to them, you belong to Krishna. There is no harm for you if whole world will be burned. But there is harm if you will not serve Krishna. So they could stay there in the mat, not going home. So this is exalted devotees association. Through the association of devotees, one can engage in the service of the Lord by hearing and chanting, Shravanam Kirtanam, hearing about Krishna and chanting about Krishna. Thus one can revive his dormant Krishna consciousness and sticking to the cultivation of Krishna consciousness, return home back to Godhead even in this life. We already have devotion to Krishna by nature in our soul. Because he is like a magnet and we are like iron. Iron is naturally attracted to magnet. Krishna is Krishna, one who attracts all and pleases all, and we are Karshna, those who are attracted. But because of misuse of our relative independence, we wanted to enjoy Maya. So this false ego covered us, and we think we are of this world, and worldly things are my necessity. So that devotion became dormant, blocked, sleeping, unmanifest. But by sadhu sangha, proper sadhu sangha, you can awaken that, manifest that nature. Prakatyam hridi sadhyata. Nitya siddha Krishna prem sadhya kabunoya. You don't need to get it. Only you have to shravanadi shuddha chitte koreuda. You have to awaken it in purified heart. That is with sadhu. From sadhu we can hear about Krishna, and then what we heard we have to speak, chant. Then that will revive our dormant Krishna consciousness, devotion to Krishna. And if we cultivate that, then ultimately we can return home back to Godhead, even in this life. It is possible if we come to the level of fully awakening that devotion, means pure devotion if we can get, where there is no any other desire except service of Krishna, then that can take you back home, back to Godhead. So this is Jauro Bharat told him. Now Jauro Bharat continued. I am reading these verses because it is very important. Because I am speaking for myself. I am in illusion, but I don't even know that I am in illusion. I am seeing everything. What will be described here, I am seeing, and since long time I am seeing, but I don't know that this is illusion. Like there is phantasmagoria in desert. You see like water is there, but that is optical illusion, it is not water. But I'm thinking that is water. So that is illusion. So if we, by great fortune, get association with devotees like Gaurav Bharat, realized souls, then we can understand what is going on. And we can change our action. Then we can come out. 1 second. So Gaurav Bharat, who had fully realized Brahman, means Supreme Lord. Brahman can refer to Supreme Lord also. It depends on the context. Sometimes it is Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, describing different aspects of same non-dual absolute truth according to different levels of realizations. But sometimes Brahman can refer to Supreme Lord, that person, Bhagavan, like Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Gaurav Bharat, who had fully realized Brahman, continued, "My dear King Rahugana, the living entity wanders on the path of the material world, which is very difficult for him to traverse, and he accepts repeated birth and death. Being captivated by the material world under the influence of the three modes of material nature, Satya, Raja, Tama, the living entity can see only the three fruits of activities under the spell of material nature. These fruits are auspicious, inauspicious, and mixed. Auspicious for us on bodily platform means something which is pleasurable for the body. That kind of auspicious. And suffering is inauspicious or mixed. According to our actions we are getting. He thus becomes attached to religion, economic development, sense gratification, and the monistic theory of liberation, that is merging with the Supreme. He works very hard day and night, exactly like a merchant who enters a forest. Now this story we have to pay attention. Exactly like a merchant who enters a forest to acquire some articles to sell later for profit, like wood or something. However, he cannot really achieve happiness within this material world. O King Rahugana, in this forest of material existence, there are 6 very powerful plunderers, those who are taking away from you, stealing. Forcefully taking, that is the meaning. When the conditioned soul enters the forest to acquire some material gain, the 6 plunderers misguide him. Thus, the conditioned merchant does not know how to spend his money, and it is taken away by these plunderers. Like tigers, jackals, and other ferocious animals in a forest that are ready to take away a lamb from the custody of its protector, the wife and children enter the heart of the merchant and plunder him in so many ways. In this forest there are dense bowers composed of thickets of bushes, grass, and creepers. In these bowers, the conditioned soul is always disturbed by cruelly biting mosquitoes, which means envious people. Sometimes he sees an imaginary palace in the forest, and sometimes he is bewildered by seeing a fleeting fiend or ghost which appears like a meteor in the sky. So up to this point we already heard. Nivasa toya dravinatma buddhis tatas tato dhavati bho atavyam kvachi cha vatyotita pamsu dhumra dishona janati rajas valakshaha. My dear king, the merchant on the forest path of the material world, his intelligence victimized by home, wealth, relatives, and so forth, runs from one place to another in search of success. That is like worldly success. Sometimes his eyes are covered by the dust of a whirlwind. That is to say, in his lust, he is captivated by the beauty of his wife, especially during her menstrual period. Thus his eyes are blinded, and he cannot see where to go or what he is doing. Adrisha Jili Svana Karna Shula Ulaka Vagbir Vyati Tantaratma Apunya Vrikshan Shrayate Kshudhardito Marichi Toyani Abhidhavati Kvachit. Wandering in the forest of the material world, the conditioned soul sometimes hears an invisible cricket making harsh sounds, and his ears become very much aggrieved. Sometimes his heart is pained by the sounds of owls, which are just like the harsh words of his enemies. Sometimes he takes shelter of a tree that has no fruits or flowers. He approaches such a tree due to his strong appetite, and thus he suffers. He would like to acquire water, but he is simply illusioned by a mirage, and he runs after it. One second. Yes. Here I will read the commentary by Shlesi Bhaktivedanta. In SRIMAD Bhagavatam it is said that the Bhagavat philosophy is meant for people who are completely free from envy. Paramo nirmatsaranam. The material world is full of envious people. One thing is jealousy, one thing is envy. Sometimes this is both meaning same. But matsarata, that means, to make it more clear, that is, you want to harm others, malice, like violence, and you want to harm others, you want to take away forcefully, like this. That is envious in this context, nirmatsara. So those who are such people, they cannot understand Bhagavatam, because Bhagavatam is about service of Supreme Lord. So those who are attached to exploitation of others due to false ego in this world, everyone is trying to exploit others. So if we are in this consciousness, then you cannot understand what is this Lila of Supreme Lord and servants, what they are doing. You cannot comprehend what is this, because it is totally different. Especially Braja Lila, it looks like it is material thing, but it is not. So it is not proper to immediately start with Braja Lila in Vrindavan, because people will misunderstand. That is why 9th cantos are there before, to gradually train you in spiritual understanding to understand that. The material world is full of envious people. Even within one's inner circle, there is much backbiting, And this is compared to the sound vibration of a cricket in the forest. One cannot see the cricket, but one hears its sounds and thus becomes aggrieved. When one takes to Krishna consciousness, one always hears unpalatable words from relatives, if they are not devotees. This is the nature of the world. One cannot avoid mental distress due to the backbiting of envious people. It is always happening in this world. Being very much aggrieved, sometimes one goes to a sinful person for help, but he has no means to help because he has no intelligence. Thus, the living entity is disappointed. This is like running after a mirage in the desert in an effort to find water. Such activities do not produce any tangible results. Due to being directed by the illusory energy, a conditioned soul suffers in so many ways. So this is always going on. We are seeing, we are experiencing, but we don't know this is illusion. That we are running after phantasmagoria. We want to get happiness, but we get distress by such activities. Kvachid vitayah sarito bhiyati parasparam chala shate nirandaha asadya davam kvachid agni tapto nirvidyate kvachayaksher hrita suhu. Sometimes the conditioned soul jumps into a shallow river, or being short of food grains, he goes to beg food from people who are not at all charitable. Sometimes he suffers from the burning heat of household life, which is like a forest fire, and sometimes he becomes sad to have his wealth, which is there as life, plundered by kings in the name of heavy income taxes. Heat of household life means, if that illusory mind, that is always some desires, always some needs are there. And you have to work very hard to fulfill your and of family members those desires. So it's always heat. There is no peace. Once you fulfill one desire, another comes, and it has got no end. And so many plans and this and that. There is no, even you have no like 1 minute pause from that chasing after worldly fulfillment. And wealth, that is very dear to us, because wealth provides everything desirable for body, for worldly things. If you have money, that is why people only, the main point is money. Because if you have money, then they think you have everything. You can get everything, you have position, you can buy, you can everything. That is also illusion. But another truth is also in this world. Now there are no kings, but before there were kings, and some kings are pious kings, but some kings are like giving heavy taxes, means exploiting people, and people have to suffer for that. Or nowadays you have other kinds of plunderers, like there is a word usurers, I don't know how it is pronounced in English. It happened already before that some who are having more money, they are lending money to those who are in need, but they are charging undue interest back. Means in one way they are plundering from that person, and this was happening before already. And there was that one saint in Christianity, Saint Antonio. He was speaking against this because this was going on so much that time, in this way cheating. Nowadays you have those who are, they say, banksters, like not gangsters but bankers, banksters. They are doing such things also nowadays. They are making illegal like interests, and so many cheating they're doing, going on, so you can lose your wealth, property, all this because of this thing. This will always happen in this world. Always there are some plunderers who are taking. So this is nothing new, it is always happening. Shureir hrita svahkva cha nirvinna chetaha shochan vimuhyan upayati kashmalam kvachi cha gandharva puram pravishtaha pramodate nirvritavan muhurtam. By some type of cheating, and together with some legislations, means judges, lawyers, all this, they are plundering from people. But no one can escape from the judgment of Yamaraj. If you are doing this, even in Bhagavatam you will find 10th canto somewhere, someone wanted to take some property from Brahmana, or he did. Then Krishna did not forgive. He gave heavy punishment for that, and he warned no one should take property of Brahmana. Then, but the time for punishment will come when that time will come. But it is going on, and the punishment also will be given by Yamaraj and Krishna. So we have to be careful and surrender to Krishna, and then but the point is, when we are in Maya, this is happening to us, but we don't know it is Maya, only we are getting suffering. Yes. In this age there will also be a shortage of rain, that is in commentary. And scarcity of food will arise. Now there is also some scarcity of rain, and people will be very much harassed by government taxations. That also we see, and the other plunderers also, many cheaters, and nowadays they are doing this web cheatings, like they present we are bank or we are police or something. So many cheating they are doing by this, by internet, and they take away money from people by cheating process. That is always going on in this world, somehow or other, in one form or another, according to time and what is the, how to say, outward form of that time. But same sinful activity is going on all the time, only in different form. So in this way the citizens will abandon their attempts to lead a peaceful life and will leave their homes and hearts and go to the forest in sheer disappointment. Sometimes being defeated or plundered by a superior, powerful agent, a living entity loses all his possessions. This is illegal, but it is happening. He then becomes very morose, and lamenting their loss, he sometimes becomes unconscious. Sometimes he imagines a great palatial city in which he desires to live happily with his family members and riches. He thinks himself fully satisfied if this is possible, but such so-called happiness continues only for a moment. That is in imagination we are getting. Chalan kvachit kantaka sharkarangrir naga rurukshur vimana ivaste pade pade vyatara vahninarditaha kautumbikah krudyativei janaya. Sometimes the merchant in the forest wants to climb the hills and mountains, but due to insufficient footwear, his feet are pricked by small stone fragments and by thorns on the mountain. Being pricked by them, he becomes very aggrieved. Sometimes a person who is very attached to his family becomes overwhelmed with hunger, and due to his miserable condition, he becomes furious with his family members. Here in the commentary, the ambitious conditioned soul wants to be very happy in this material world with his family, but he is compared to a traveler in the forest who desires to climb a hill full of thorns and small stones. As stated in the previous verse, the happiness derived from society, friendship and love is like a drop of water in the scorching heat of the desert. One may want to become very great and powerful in society, but this is like attempting to climb a hill full of thorns. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur compares one's family to high mountains. Becoming happy in their association is like a hungry man's endeavoring to climb a mountain full of thorns. Almost 99.9% of the population is unhappy in family life, despite all the attempts being made to satisfy the family members. In the Western countries, due to the dissatisfaction of the family members, there is actually no family life. There are many cases of divorce, and out of dissatisfaction, the children leave the protection of their parents. Especially in this age of Kali, family life is being reduced. Everyone is becoming self-centered because that is the law of nature. Even if one has sufficient money to maintain a family, the situation is such that no one is happy in family life, by sense gratification only. You have so many big, rich families, but the children, they are taking drugs or committing suicide. Parents, they are not happy. They are divorcing. They are taking another one. So if money would give you happiness with all sense gratification, then such thing would not happen. But the thing is, you cannot be happy. And also, you cannot claim any success in your life, because everything here is temporary. One thing is, it is very difficult like to become successful in material life, like having big family, big property, big position. One thing it is very difficult to get, another thing is, even if you get, that cannot be considered as success because it is not making you happy and because it doesn't stay. The time will take away everything. So what kind of success you can say it is? It is no success. Only looks like outwardly someone may think he's a very successful person. He got so much money, he got beautiful wife, he got this, that, name and fame. He's very successful, he's very happy. We see in illusion, we think he's very happy, but he's not happy. He's also unfulfilled and always wants more and everything. So there is no actual success in this world for anyone. Everything is taken away by time. So the only success in this world is how much we can serve Krishna in particular circumstance. Because that is the only thing which can satisfy us and can help us in getting like back home, back to Godhead. But nothing else is success. Even success in devotion cannot be measured, like how many temples one opened or they were closed. Like there is one, I know one Acharya, he opened in one city like 13 times one temple, but always it was unsuccessful, like it became closed after some time. And then again in another place, same city like this, 13 times he tried, but not possible to keep. So it is not like success how much disciples one collects, how many temples he opened, how much money he collected, how much he traveled or this. No. That is also not a sign of success. How much one pleased Krishna, how much one served Krishna as Krishna wanted under the guidance of Guru, that is the only actual success. Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj had one disciple, no temple, nothing. But by his service of chanting Harinam, and also he gave some instructions, those who came and hearing Bhagavatam from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, like outwardly nothing like we see successful, but he is fully successful because he satisfied Krishna, and therefore he is also satisfied and he is going back home, back to Godhead. That is the actual success for a jiva. To attain eternal function, that service of Krishna in his lila, everything else in this world, this is a diseased condition of soul. So to cure yourself, that is to attain that. So he was fully successful in his life. So even by this external, we cannot judge someone is great devotee or not. Krishna knows from his heart what he is doing, if he is doing for the satisfaction of Krishna. Like Srila Bhakti Hridoy Bongosai Maharaj is a pure devotee. He tried to open one like college there, or university for Oriental studies in Vrindavan, but he was not so successful in that because people not interested and like this. So some said he's a failure. Like Bhakti Hridoy Bongosai Maharaj is failure. Like some others, they opened so many mats, they collected so much disciples, so much money. They are like successful, but he is a failure. But that is not correct. That is according to our material calculation, we may think like that. He is a failure because we judged by external achievements or success, not by the effort of that devotee for the satisfaction of Krishna, what he is trying or what he was trying. That Krishna knows who is successful. And Krishna, like example is that Pratishtampur Brahmin who was living in Pratishtampur city. He is so poor, he cannot offer anything to Supreme Lord, but he has a desire to offer. So in his mind he offered items, and then that day he also offered kheer in gold pot, and his finger was burnt in meditation. You know the story. But so outwardly he didn't achieve anything. We may think like that. He did not achieve anything in this world. But Narayan knew he's a pure devotee. He is serving me. He wants to serve me. So immediately he sent Garuda to take him to Vaikuntha. So he is a successful. Someone will think he is a failure. No. Successful is one who has devotion to Krishna. And Krishna knows that. Kvachinirgino jagarahina jano navaiti kinchid vipine pavidaha dashtah smashete kvacha danda shukair andonda kupe patitas tamisre. The conditioned soul in the material forest is sometimes swallowed by a python or crushed. At such a time he is left lying in the forest like a dead person, devoid of consciousness and knowledge. Sometimes other poisonous snakes bite him. Being blind to his consciousness, he falls down into a dark well of hellish life with no scope of being rescued. I read, I think maybe yesterday, news in some place there, more east, maybe Filipino or somewhere there. Now one python swallowed one whole man. They only found his mobile and other things. He was like missing, and they found, and some blood was there. So ultimately they cut that python and the body was there. We are not having such snakes here, but we have poisonous snakes. In Slovenia also yesterday or today one was bitten. He was thinking, when he was a little climbing, going up, he was thinking it is a branch of a tree. He wanted to take support of that, but that was actually snake and bite him. Poisonous. But here it is meant in the commentary, when one becomes unconscious due to being bitten by a snake, one cannot understand what is taking place outside the body. This unconscious condition is the condition of deep sleep. Similarly, the conditioned soul is actually sleeping on the lap of the illusory energy. Yes, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung, Jeev jago, Gaura Chanda bole, Koto nidra jao maya, Pishachi rokole. Someone will say, no, I am awake, I am not sleeping, I am not dreaming. But you are sleeping, you are unconscious of reality, you are sleeping in the lap of Maya. But Gaura Chandra is coming and saying, how much more you will sleep in the lap of Maya. You told me you will worship me. But when you enter this Maya, you forgot that. In the womb we promised. But you forgot. So for your sake I am coming. Tomare loite ami hoinu avatar. Ami bina bondu ar ke ache tomar. There is no any other friend other than me for you. I appeared for you only. I brought the medicine. Ene chi oushadi maya nashi barolagi. Harinam maha mantra lao tu mimagi. This Harinam maha mantra I brought that can destroy your Maya. So you request me for Harinam. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, I accepted, I requested to Supreme Lord, and I accepted that Harinam Mahamantra. So this means people do not understand that they are actually sleeping in this material world, being devoid of knowledge of spiritual life. That is real life. Now we are thinking this is like real life, reality. That is some abstract thing, some spirituality and some that abstract. It's true or not, we don't know. This is real. But those who are realized souls, they know that that spiritual life and spiritual realm, spiritual consciousness, that is actually reality. Real reality. Vastava vastu. Real reality, and you can know it is. From that platform, you can know that this is what we were experiencing before is wrong. It is not real. Like when you wake up from dream, then you can understand that was false. And all the problems are solved by that. So, we don't know we are sleeping. Awakened soul knows they are sleeping. So only awakened soul can awake other sleeping souls. No sleeping soul can awake other sleeping soul. Prahlad Maharaj, I did not get devotion from myself, nor from these two teachers, nor from combined effort, nor from whole world. Conditioned souls you cannot get. You can get only from real devotee. So our Gurudev explained, one awakened soul. You should think about the quality, not quantity. So many characterless people, they cannot do any help to anyone. But one awakened soul can awake so many other sleeping souls. Or like Brahmanda Torite Dhore Mahashok. That song we are singing. One awakened soul can awaken Brahmanda. One universe can awake. So our Gurudev told quality is more important than quantity. One scientist, doctor, he invented one medicine that can help 6 billion people, can help one medicine. He invented only one. And that bridge in Kolkata, Howrah Bridge, one engineer made without pillars. And after he died, now when they wanted to repair that after some time, no one could understand how he made that. So they could not repair because no one understood how that is working. So they had to make a new bridge. So one quality person is necessary. Means one realized soul is necessary. One, not only he is speaking, yes, we are eternal servants of Krishna. By forgetting Krishna, you are in suffering. you should devote yourself to Krishna, then there is no problem. That anyone can say. But one who is well established in realization of that fact, and he is 24 hours engaged in the service of Krishna, he can help others. Our Gurudev, by his own example, he gave such saying. When our Gurudev was more new to the mat, then there was some preaching program, so our Gurudev was sent there in one place, and he spoke Harikatha and everyone liked. But then that owner, he said that we want to invite your Gurudev also. So then our Parang Gurudev also came because it was on the way to Mayapur. So then that owner, he said after the program of our Parang Gurudev, he said to our Gurudev that, may I say something to you? He said, yes. Then he said, what your Gurudev spoke here these few days, 3 days, we already heard everything from you before. Nothing new he told. Same thing he told. But when your Gurudev was speaking, same thing, that had some effect on me. Some transformation happened in my heart. I want to devote myself to Krishna. But we heard same thing. You please don't become angry. Then Guru said, no, what you said is correct. I didn't spoke anything other than what our Gurudev told. He spoke same. But difference is, he is 24 hours engaged in the service of Krishna. From his own realization that I'm eternal servant of Krishna, and he's constantly engaged in the service of Krishna without any other desire, nothing. So when he speaks, that has got effect. But my has got no effect. Means our Gurudev taught us this point, that realized soul, quality person is necessary. Or like one time, means only giving nice lecture, that is no benefit to the speaker nor to others. How much one is dedicated to Krishna, that much is beneficial for him and for others who hear. But only many shlokas and nice logic and nice knowledge, that is no value. There was one time there was one preaching program, and our Gurudev had to, or maybe he was already playing the pastime of sickness that time, so he was unable to go. So then devotees, they made arrangement that some others will go. Then they told to Gurudev that this devotee will go and we will do program there. Then Guru said, and who else is going? And they said, and that Prabhuji also is going. And Gurudev again, and who else is going? And then they were like telling like every brahmachari Prabhuji like this. Then, but Gurudev kept saying who is also going, and they were surprised why he's asking this. Then ultimately they said, and yes, also our Bharati Maharaj will go, our big Bhakti Bigyan Bharati Gosai Maharaj, he will also go. Then Guru said, oh yes, then okay, then no problem. Then Guru said, because one personality must be there, otherwise useless preaching. One personality means one who is a real devotee. He can make preaching, otherwise so many people, because they said yes, and we can bring that one, like more people will go. They were thinking Gurudev wants to tell them you have to bring more people. But Gurudev's point was not more people, but personality person, one who is a real devotee. And also I told once when we came to Krishna Nagar, our temple, first time I saw that mat, it is more small size than others. So then I said to Gurudev, oh, this is very nice temple, small size. I never saw like this before. So like this we could also make in Slovenia. Then Gurudev smiled and he said, it is not difficult to make a building, to make a building, but that is not the mat. One sincere person should be there. Sincere means, sincerity for the soul means fully engaged in the service of Krishna, because soul is eternal servant of Krishna. So sincerity means actual servant, all the time serving. Then he said, like our Damodar Maharaj was here. I met that Bhakti Suri Damodar Maharaj. He was, I think, initiated earlier than our Gurudev. One of the first disciples of Parangurudev from Assam. I met him. Very tall, thin, but very good. So when I was fully new, 99, one devotee introduced me to him in Delhi. I still remember, in that top floor. And he told his Madan Gopal from Slovenia. I bowed down, and that Maharaj was like this, nodding. He said, very good, like that, doing devotion. So that Maharaj was very nice. So Gurudev said, because that Damodar Maharaj was in charge of that Krishna Nagar mat. So this is the point. Only making with money some building, that is not, that will not help anyone. One sincere person should be there, or awakened soul or personality, real devotee, that can make a change in the conditioned souls. Not like big opulent things. Generally people, they are attracted to such things, and he can have so many followers, but there is no actual benefit if he is not preaching real devotion by his own example. So tomorrow we will hear about Gopal Bhatta Goswami. He is a real devotee. And then further we will hear this topic. So as we will see, King Rahugana's heart will also change, because Jora Bharat is a real dedicated soul, pure devotee. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ramo Ramo Hare Hare, Hari Bol, 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 Hari Bol. जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांगो गांधर्विका गिरिधारी जीव की जय। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांगो शिशि राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्त्वात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांगो शिशि राधा नयननाथ जीव की जय। जय श्री गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ देव की जय। जय पतित पावन शिल गुरुदेव की जय। जय शिल परम गुरुदेव की जय। जय शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। जय श्री रूपानुग गुरुवरे की जय। जय श्री पंचतत्व प्रभु की जय। जय श्री वृंदा देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। जय सर्व विघ्न विनाशनकारी श्री नृसिंहदेव की जय। जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जय समागत भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। गौर परमानंदे हरि बोल। थैंक यू ऑल। दंडवत प्रणाम। हरि बोल।